Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here, aka Ronda without an H, and more recently, Ronda with no hair. It's so good to see you guys. See you. I'm imagining I'm seeing you, aren't I? I just wanted to spend some time with you. I wanted to update you with my cancer journey and show you what I'm working on right now. And yeah, so, okay, let's get started. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. I hope that things in your life are good. Now, if you have noticed something that you've not seen ever before on me, and that would be fingernail polish. I have a little story about that I want to share with you. But first of all, I want to show you, this is, I believe I've showed this before in some of my other videos. This is my personal junk journal, my current one that I'm working on. And I have been doing my Midori style so I can take my signatures in and out while I'm working on different things. For me, that works. I love to do it that way. Just been having some fun and writing little bits here and there. Just kind of, you know, this is just me playing with my own stuff, and I am learning, you guys, in my journaling process, I am learning that really and truly in my own space for what I like, I need to just love what I'm doing. Do you ever get caught up in, well, what would somebody else think? What might they think is pretty, or what would appeal to the masses, or et cetera, especially if, like me, you have a eensy, little teeny shop that you sell occasionally some things out of, and so you do want to appeal to people, but you can get stuck in a mode where then you start doing your own personal journaling in what you feel others will like. And I have, like many of you, not all of you, and obviously I don't know everybody that journals. I don't have that much time to look on YouTube and find everybody, but I know that a lot of us struggle with, how do we journal? What do we journal? What's important to keep, to do, to this, to that. Diary type journal, or a junk journal, or an art journal, or mixture of all kinds of things. And I have shared with you before, but for those that are new, and if you are new, hello, I'm so happy you're here. I really am. And just to let you know, I'm not letting the cancer, you know, put me away. At least I hope not. We fight on. So I do plan on being here for quite some time. But in this world of journaling, I have been growing and learning, and I am down to, at least right now, this could change tomorrow, because I give myself full permission to change it up, and you need to have that same permission. We can do whatever we want, right? There are no rights, there are no wrongs. It's what we enjoy. And I think that is the key factor. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I'm losing train of my thoughts, even as I'm talking with you. Okay, so just that being said, I have this junk journaling that I am putting my current ephemera if you will, tickets, tags, receipts, things that I buy, packaging, wrappers, whatever it might be. I'm adding those and some journaling in this book. And then I also, let me grab, and I know I've shown you this before as well, but this was going to be my mission, remember? And it's turned into, my here and now journal. And in this one, I am just writing, okay? I'm just writing down. And I love it because I'm a paper snob, and I love crinkly paper, glassine. I have a fetish for glassine, but unfortunately, because of the waxiness of the paper, I can't write on it, so I get transparent stuff. Anyway, so this is what I write in, and it's also Midori style, so I can switch out these little notebooks. As they get full, I put another one in. And I have one for different things that I'm working on, miscellaneous, just odds and ends. So that is one, and I keep it small. I keep it on my desk so that I will always see it and have it for handy reference to write in it. And then I also keep this one close by me too. The reality is I'm finding that if I'm setting this aside in a neat place somewhere away, I forget about it and I don't do it. I'm not an everyday journaler. That is, maybe down the road. But I'm trying to do better, and I am really trying right now to journal my cancer history, because my hope is that someday I will beat this thing and that I can look back and family members can look back, children and grandchildren and maybe great-grandchildren, and be like, oh, okay, well, Grandma did it, so, maybe I can too. Or get some kind of insight or something just to connect me with those that come after. And so, yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing today, I've got some ephemera here, current ephemera and pictures that I'm going to be. So I want to find a page that I want to work in. I've been working in this signature a little bit more. And that's another thing that I am doing, you guys, is there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just picking pages just because I'm picking pages. I don't do it in order, consecutive order. So anybody that reads this after the fact, they'll figure that out pretty soon. It's like, oh, this was 2020. Oh, well, this is 2021. So I'm not doing it for them because of specifically anyway, because if I did that, I'd probably do it chronologically. I'm doing it for me and what makes me happy. And that would be something I would hope that you would do too. Do what makes you happy. Okay, I'm kind of liking this spread. This is kind of cool. Well, they're all, obviously, I think it's all cool because I put it in here, right? Let's work here. Okay. So, I'm just going to keep that there for now. So, this spread that I'm working on is documenting. Oh, this is scary, you guys. And I don't dare show you in person, but I will show you pictures of myself in my current state. This is the doctor's office that I often wait for quite some time. And when my doctor shows up, he was very accommodating. I told him, "You're going to be, I'm journaling about you, Dr. Doro." He's like, "Oh, is my hair straight?" As he smiled and took a picture. All right. Don't laugh. Or I guess you can laugh. This is me, you guys. This is me, el natural, baldy. This is me with my pink hat. This is me with my white dressier hat. And this is me with a wig, go to church wig. So, there I am. All right. So, and I don't know if I'll put any of the rest of this in here. That's another appointment, different doctor. That's ephemera. This one, let me digress and tell you the story here. I have many wonderful, beautiful granddaughters, but I have one in particular that lives in the same town that I do. And she's a beautiful 16-year-old young lady. And we were talking one day, and it was like, "Oh, you know what? We should get manicures. Let's do that." She's not had a manicure. And I've never ever in my whole life, I'm 66 years old, I've never had a manicure. And so I said, "Would you do that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I would." So made an appointment to do it before school starts so that she could have a manicure. And you know, I'm like, "Okay, I'm game, I'll do it." I don't have fake fingernails, and I don't grow my fingernails long. I keep them short, so it's easy to work with and create the stuff that I do. But it was so much fun. Oh! We just had a fun time. I was like, okay. We both were like, okay, let's try it out. Let's see if we like it. If we don't, we'll laugh about it. We'll be like, we'll never do that again, right? And maybe we'll be like, "Oh, we'll have to do this again." And we're sitting side by side. And the person that I made the appointment with didn't evidently put it on record, because when we went to the place called Stripes, it's a large nail salon, and they didn't have any record of it. But they were nice and accommodating, and they got us hooked up. And first of all, one started with me, and then a little bit later, someone came and was helping my granddaughters. We're sitting in these comfy chairs, right, side by side. And we're just kind of looking at each other and not knowing what to expect. And it was an Oriental gal who was taking care of me, and her English was kind of broken, and so I had a hard time hearing her. She had to kind of repeat a little bit here and there, but she was very sweet. And then soon another gal came and was working with my granddaughter. First of all, she was watching me, you know, as you put your hands there, and they buff, and they do the scraping, and you dip your hands in the water, and they get the cuticles, and you know, they did the whole whatever. And then when they start with painting your nails, they do a clear coat, and then they do a first, you pick your polish. And, you know, I'm like, I don't know what to pick. So anyway, I just, you know, I like pink, you guys. I like pink. So went for pink. They put 2 coats, and then they put another coat of hardener on it. And then they put some oil or grease on it, and then some lotion, and they massaged up your hands. And it was very pleasant. And Kira and I both decided that, you know, it's like, oh, we might do this again. So if you these I'll just let it wear off, and then eventually I'm sure I'll get some remover and I'll finish it off because it'll drive me nuts. But it was such a fun thing to do with my granddaughter. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So, this is my doctor. These are me. I don't know how much I want to journal. And I just picked this up. We are memory keepers. I just picked this up in Hobby Lobby a couple of days ago. I think I'm going to round these corners because they seem really, I don't know, they seem a lot to me. So we'll just do that. And I thought this was kind of a fun one because it gives me choices of sizes. Okay, oh, see, that definitely softens my my very non-attractive reality check here. I tell you what, you guys, this is brave. Please be nice in your comments about my real self. Oh dear. I mean, you know, I'm just me. Oh, I've got my phone ringing, and I will just stop that. I have been getting these 877 numbers regularly, and I didn't know this until my husband. He's like, don't answer those. They're sales calls, 877. So I have a little deal on my phone that says, this customer, this is screening your call. What is your call about, or something? And they, you know, they never, let's see, Dr. Doro, you're only getting a little. We're only going to do the very little bit with you because you're like the doctor. And I wouldn't call you soft and tender. He's, you know, he's very brilliant, and he's a go-getter. He has, I feel very grateful because he has most of the cancer clientele he takes care of because he's so good. Instead of just one nurse, he has 3 that follow him around, and man, he can move. It's like he's there and he's, you know, and then he's gone. Phew. So, let's see, I might want to write a little bit of something, so I want to bring in some, I just have a bunch of junk, but, you know, we don't, as we know, we don't get rid of our junk because it's cool stuff and we use it, right? So, let me update you on what's been going on. I am, for those of you that are new, I have stage 4 breast cancer. Cancer is also in my lymph nodes and in my bones. So it's a fast, aggressive growing cancer, but the first chemo that the doctor put me on, I'm not even going to tell you the name of the drugs because it's hard for me to even remember what they are. But it made me very sick. I got very sick. And it was just, I felt like it was too much. That's not how I wanted to go. And so I actually planned on not continuing with the treatment. Let's see. And when I went in for my when I went to visit him, so my husband called the nurse and told her, this is just not working. This is not what she wants to do. And the nurse said, that's fine. It happens. But just please keep your appointment with Dr. Doro, it was 3 weeks, chemo every 3 weeks. And so we said, yes, absolutely. So we did. And he told me, he said, if you think that your cancer is going to kill you from, get in an organ and eventually that organ will stop functioning and you'll die that way. He says, that's not what's going to happen for you. It's in your bones. And what's going to happen is you are going to lose the use. You'll likely end up in a wheelchair, incontinent, but you'll live for a long time. You'll just be very miserable. And I was like, oh. He said, we can try different treatments. We can try different drugs, different chemo. And so I was like, okay. It made me nervous, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know. I didn't feel like I had a lot of great options at the time. And so I said, okay. It's kind of, okay, that's sort of coming together a little bit. Let me put some, and that's the fun thing about, working on your own stuff. You just do what floats your boat. So anyway, this new chemo that I'm on, the biggest difference or change is that I have to go in every week for my infusion. Get them, through the IV and stuff. Then they give you your drugs, and I'm there for several hours every week. But the good thing is, you guys, I don't feel sick. Oh, that's wonderful. I am so grateful. And I know, you guys, I know that your prayers have been sustaining me. And I just want you to know how grateful I am for your prayers. I really am. I love you guys. You're important to me. And I just feel that your prayers and prayers of family and friends are just keeping me going. I feel joy. I feel joy. I feel gratitude. I feel hopeful. I feel, my heart is just full. That's all. My heart is just full. I feel like I have been so blessed. And I am so grateful that I discovered a few years ago that I could have so many wonderful friendships through a little thing called YouTube. It was scary. It was scary to start a YouTube channel. And you are very vulnerable. And people can be really, maybe sometimes not so nice with you in their comments. But I have found through my cancer journey, at least, people have been so fabulous. I can't even begin to think how wonderful everyone has been. I'm just so grateful. Okay, so let's see. There has been a problem with my treatments that has nothing to do with Dr. Doro. and has everything to do with my port. For those of you that aren't familiar, a port is a device that you have surgery and they implant this device in your chest so that it's easy to access for IV infusions, and it makes it not so difficult for you. That's the goal of that. Well, I won't tell you who my surgeon is who put the port in, because I don't want to. But he put it in very deep. And from day one, I had the poor nurses, they couldn't get my port in the first time. It took 4 different nurses an hour, and I don't remember how many times they stuck me, but it was at least 3 or 4 before they got it in. And that was kind of traumatizing. I'm like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be good. What's going on here? But yeah, not so good. And that has continued. So that's been the most difficult part of my chemo, is them getting the IV in the port without having to stick me. The last time was Tuesday. I was fine Tuesday. The time before that, the nurse got it in, but then towards the end of my infusion, it came out. And so then I had to it took an hour, literally. They didn't know what to do, so they were in contact with pharmacy and whoever else when these things happen, because they didn't know how much the medicine had just gone into me, and they didn't know what to do. So they finally decided to give me shots, antibiotics shots, so that I could, be protected. So what they did was they gave me 5 shots, so I got stuck above the port, kind of in a line, 5 sticks. So for that one, I had 6 sticks to be able to, for my port thing. And that was just like, oh my God, this is like, you guys. So when I saw Dr. Doro on Tuesday, I see him every 3 weeks. And they do my labs, and, they keep a close eye on what's going on with me. And I asked him about the port. And he's like, what's going on with the port? So I explained to him what had been going on. And he's like, well, what we can do is I can put an order in, and I can have the surgeon take it out, and then we can have a different surgeon put a new one in. And we talked about it a little bit more. And then he's like, come with me. And he's just like, you're up and out. And I was like, was that for me? Am I supposed to follow him? And he's like, yeah. And he's walking fast down this hallway. I don't know where he is. Anyway, so he walks me himself over to the cancer center. He's never done that before. Usually a nurse takes you over. And he is talking to a supervisor of the nurse in the cancer center, and he's like, she's having difficulty with her port. Can you take care of that and make sure it gets in properly? And the nurse is like, yes, of course. So I had the supervisor doing my port, taking care of it, and I explained to her what the radiologist, I didn't even tell you about the radiologist. In the meantime, with all of this difficulty going on with the port and the access for the IV, they put in an order after the IV came out. They put in an order to have it checked with radiology to see. They were thinking that the port was improperly installed, not working. Something was amiss with it, which I get it. I mean, I certainly was kind of that mind of thinking myself. And when I went to the radiology department, and which was before one of my visits, they said 10 to 9, it's user error. And I just, it's like, well, I don't know. Their nurses are good nurses, and I know they deal with ports all the time. Mine is just a weird, unusual one. And he checked it out. He got it in first time. And he was like, yeah. So radiology, they did look at that. I got some weird stuff going on there. That's all kinds of blacky going. Don't know if that'll come off. If it doesn't come off, I better redo that. Ugh, I'm not liking that. Oh, I'm scary. Scary, scary, scary. Ick, ick. Ah! I don't like that. You know what? We will cover that picture with a different one. Only we will... I had it upside down, and it picked up. Okay. It picked up from the page I was laying it on. I don't think it was the glue as much as it was what I had it laying down on. Okay. That makes more sense. Although I did try, you know what? I don't like this. And I don't like this. So I think what I'm going to do, my friends, is, wow, this is really icky. I thought I was going to be really cool and print these out, and I did it on a photo paper, and I'm just going to get rid of those, and I am going to come back when I have the photos printed on the regular mat. I will be back. Don't go away. Let's see. Okay, back with you. I have reprinted, and it's a little bit lighter than what it was on the photo paper, but yeah, didn't want to mess that up. It's bad enough the way I look, let alone make it really lovely. Okay, let's see. Where was I? Sharing with you about the port. The saga of the port. Do believe it's been discovered now. It's been remedied. It's been whatever it is. Because Dr. Doro, when he did take me over to the cancer treatment side and talked to the nurse supervisor, he did tell her, he said the port is very deep. So what she did, and I explained to her what the radiologist had said, and that he was able to get it in first time, and she used a longer needle. Instead of a 3/4 inch needle, she used an inch needle, and that allowed her to she got it on the first try, and it was fine. I mean, it was just like, yeah. And I'm just really grateful. I'm like, wow, okay, I can deal with this. And so the nurse that normally I have, a very sweet gal, she's like, just remember, whoever does your port, just remind them on the IV that you need the long needle. And that way you can get it in without all this difficulty that we've had. So that makes me very happy. It was a little bit of a process, but yeah. So, and just another kudos to my cancer doctor. He just, because he was seriously considering, you know, having me have it taken out and put in again. But if this can take care of the situation, then that would be preferable, so that I don't have to have surgery again, and, you know, all of that nasty stuff that goes with. Now this is just stuff left over from something. I have no idea what, but it was just hanging out here. So let's see if it needs a home. That can bring out the blue there. Why not? Why not? You say, I say, we say, yay. So we just do it. Okay, and I hope this is not too boring for you, as many of you do your own journaling and your own this and that-ing. I'm not really explaining what I'm doing, but I'm assuming, maybe wrongly, but I'm assuming that a lot of you already, you know, have seen me do a lot of this stuff. And that is really driving me nuts. I switch my glues up a lot. I don't have like any one particular that I absolutely have to use all the time. And they irritate me when they don't open properly. So that's probably not a good thing. And I am just kind of wanting that to sort of be scrappy. This is pattern paper, by the way. I took a strip like this and stitched with a wide stitch down, and then tied it at one end and then gathered it, as you saw me do. And I may put this way over here to kind of tie these two pages together. Now I may put some more things here. This still looks, for me, it's a little empty, but I don't want this video to go on forever and a day. I just wanted to really be able to catch you guys up on what's going on with me, as I have promised to do on this journey. Wow, I can't even begin to tell you. It's kind of difficult to scrapbook these pictures of me. I just, no hair. It's like, okay, not loving it, but you know, the alternative, I guess we'll take what we can get. We don't want that alternative. Okay, so what have I not shared with you? I will just say that for now, my doctor is pleased with the results of the chemo treatments. He says we'll just have to look at down the road. I have my last, I will share this with you, this is good news. My last chemo treatment, at least the way it's looking now, is October 12th. It's on a Tuesday. And to celebrate, my hubby and I are planning to take a short little trip to the Smoky Mountains that following Monday. Just, I love fall. I so dearly love the fall. It is my favorite season of the year. And I've wanted to take a fall color trip and go back east to the to Connecticut and Vermont and some of those places, but that takes more time, and I still have, even after the chemo, I still will have the different infusions every 3 weeks, but they won't be every week, so we can have a little bit more time. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna stay in Valley. Is it Valley Forge or Forge Valley? Anyway, close to Gatlinburg, and drive through the Smokies, and we're gonna do a dinner show at Dollywood, and just kind of play just for a minute or two, and just kind of celebrate the end of one phase. Excited about that. Let's see, what have we got here? As you can see, I've got a lot of scraps, and as we know, we don't throw our scraps away. Now these match this, so this would be kind of good maybe to bring this over in this neck of the woods to have it match a little bit. I like to have to tie the two together. Now you can see that I am working on this particular spread with oopsers, without taking my pages out, because these are different pages. And I actually do both. I do it both ways. I don't have a one that I love over another, really. It's just, what kind of mood you're in. And so I just go by that. Okay, so the last update as of Tuesday last is that things are going well. The chemo is doing its job. I will be bald as long as I'm having chemo. So I'm trying to get used to that. And then he indicated that it may be that I will be indefinitely on some kind of a IV infusion kind of thing. So I don't know. We'll just see how that all goes. In the meantime, I plan on being here as much as I can with you guys, because I absolutely do think you are fabulous, and I'm just so grateful. I know I've said it before, and I don't want it to be like a okay, Ronda, we've heard it. But I really am. Seriously, if I could, I would absolutely give all of you just the biggest hugs ever. Just because I love you guys. And your support has meant the world to me. And I just have fun hanging out. Now, I know that I do get tired with this chemo. And so, as you've noticed, I haven't been producing a ton of videos. I just don't quite have the energy. I don't. But I'm going to try, knock on wood. My head is wooden, probably. Try to do maybe one a week. We'll just see. It'll depend. But I'll do as much as I can, and hope to have some good ideas and hopefully a little bit of inspiration for you. You know what? I think I'm going to finish the rest of this off, and then when I do another video, I'll show you the finished double spread. But before I say goodbye for this video, I want to show you what I'm working on in addition to my junk journaling. I am repurposing envelopes. Let's see, can you? This is 1942. My dad, when he was a private in the Army, writing to my mother before they were even talking about marriage. They got married in 1945, January, and he was in the Army, and was World War II had broken out. So I have been altering some of these. Now, I made the decision. This has been really hard for me because part of me is like, never touch the original. You know, leave the original as it is. And of course, I scanned everything. I have it. It's all on digital. But the other part of me is like, these letters, I have a whole bunch of letters that were given to me that were kind of handed down to me from other family members dying and whatnot. And as I've been organizing the letters and reading them and talking with one of my sisters who had them at one time, and I asked her, I said, did you ever read the letters? And she said, well, I started to, but no. Raising a family, and they're long, and it takes a long time to read them all, and no, I didn't. And I hadn't either. I've had these in my possession for some time, and I thought, well, what good are the letters if they're in the envelope and they're just sitting there and nobody reads them? What value are they? So I took a chance with one and took the original, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this yet, but I will show you this. This is the digital that I did, and I made, the envelope, and then what I did was I printed the letter out. Look at this. Is this fabulous? And I did it on kind of an onion skinny type paper. This one, I glued the back to it because this was ripped out. And so it looked weird to have a rip here and one over here if I, you know, did it the other way. So I did do that. But isn't this fabulous? Now this, I think, is going to end up to be, I think I may send some of these to my grandchildren, some letters here and there so that they can start to collect and read about their ancestors. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this, you guys. And this is one that had no letter in it. And this is 1994, and I know this was written from one of my sisters to Mom. And of course, my mom and dad and stepdad, and they've all passed away. And these addresses aren't any good anymore. And so I have been playing with, and I'm loving this idea, so I'm going to do more. And I'll show you this when I finish. But we're going to call it a day. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. And until next video, have an amazing day. Bye now.